This is a story called The Little Monsters of Christmas, chapter 106. The kids take it in turn to have their Christmas sleepovers, and during the day they help people to take their shopping home. It's Christmas, and the kids have arranged to have their Christmas sleepovers. As you can imagine, they're super excited, especially the quads, as they've never had a Christmas sleepover before. The first one to have their Christmas sleepover is Grumpy. During the day they all went to do some last-minute Christmas shopping. Whilst they were out, they spotted an elderly couple struggling with their shopping, and Grumpy says, "Look at them struggling with the shopping. Come on, let's go and help them." They went over to the elderly couple, and Bumpy said, "Hi guys, we'd like to help you get your shopping home if you'll let us." "Oh, would you? We'd be ever so grateful. It's such a long walk home and we don't have enough money for a taxi," said the old lady. "We can get you a taxi if you want," said Bumpy. "Do you mind if we walk? It's such a nice day and we do enjoy walking," said the lady. "No, of course not," said Bumpy. They walked with the elderly couple and carried their shopping to their house. When they got there, they helped the couple carry their shopping into their house. Before they left, the couple offered them money, but they refused to take it. When they got there, they spotted a young mum trying to juggle her shopping with 4 little kids, 2 in a double pram, and they ran over to help her. "Here, let us help you," said Kicker. "Oh, thank you. I'm just trying to get to my car, but these 2 keep wandering off and not doing as they're told," said the lady. The kids helped the lady to her car with her shopping and her kids. Then they all went back to Grumpy's for tea and a Christmas sleepover. When they got there, Grumpy's mum said, "Tea's ready, guys." "Good, because I'm hungry," said Stumpy. They all looked at each other and then at Stumpy, and all together they said, "You're always hungry, Stumpy." They all laughed, ate their tea, and then they all went upstairs into Grumpy's games room. They played PlayStation and Xbox games together, and they stayed up until 1 a.m. The next day they got up about 10 a.m. They had their breakfast and then they took their stuff over to Creeper's house, ready for her Christmas sleepover. Afterwards, they went to the shopping centre, and when they got there, they spotted a man in a wheelchair struggling with his shopping. They went over to him and Kicker said, "Let us help you." "Thank you, I'm just trying to get to my car," said the man. They helped him to his car and put his shopping in the boot for him. Then they helped an old lady get to her taxi. Then Stumpy said, "Hey guys, I'm hungry. Let's go to the cafe." They all looked at each other, then at Stumpy, and all together they said, "You're always hungry, Stumpy." They all laughed, and then Creeper said, "Hey guys, I'm hungry too. Let's go to the cafe for some lunch." They all laughed, then they went in the cafe for some lunch. Afterwards, they went round helping people with their shopping. This time they decided to go inside and spread out so they could help people pack their shopping. Then they helped them to their cars, etc. Later on that day, they all went back to Creeper's house for their tea and a Christmas sleepover. The little kids were having their Christmas sleepovers on the same night as the big kids. However, when the big kids were at one house for the sleepover, the little kids were at another house having their Christmas sleepover. The day after Creeper's sleepover, the kids took their stuff to Stumpy's house, ready for his Christmas sleepover. Then they went to the shopping centre. They went inside to help people pack up their shopping. Then at lunchtime, Stumpy said, "Hey guys, I'm starving, so let's go and get some lunch." They all looked at each other and then at Stumpy, and all together they said, "You're always starving, Stumpy." Everyone in the supermarket laughed, and then the kids went for their lunch. After lunch, they went back to Tesco's to help people with their shopping. However, as they were on their way there, they spotted an old couple that they knew struggling with their shopping. They ran over and Stumpy said, "Edna, George, what are you doing? We're just trying to make our way home with our shopping, but as you can see, we're not getting very far." "That's what we're here for, so let us help you," said Creeper. "Well, I know better than to argue with you guys, so be my guest," said George. They all laughed, and then Stampy said, "Do you guys fancy a quick coffee and a piece of cake?" "Of course we do," said Edna. They all went into the cafe for their coffee and some cake. Then they helped them to get home with their shopping. They stayed there for an hour and then they went to Stumpy's house. When they got there, they had their tea and then they went in Stumpy's games room to play computer games. After a couple of hours, they decided to go in Stumpy's music room to have a sing-song. Then they went back into his games room and stayed there for the rest of the night until about 2 a.m. and then they went to bed. The next day they got up, had their breakfast and then they took their stuff to Bumpy's house, ready for her Christmas sleepover. Then they made their way to the shopping centre and when they got there, they saw an heavily pregnant woman struggling with her shopping and 2 toddlers, and they went over to help. "Don't struggle with your shopping. Let us help you. You shouldn't be struggling like this in your condition," said Stumpy. Then her husband said, "He's right, and I told you to wait for me inside. I only went to get to the customer service desk and then to the toilet. You should have waited for me because I don't want you struggling." "I know, but the twins were carrying on and I just wanted to put them in the car," said the lady. "You still should have waited for me," said the man. Then Grumpy said, "Do you still need our help?" "No, thank you, I can manage, but thanks for stopping my wife struggling," said the man. "You're welcome," said Kicker. They said goodbye to the couple and then they spotted a young girl about their age who they knew from school struggling to help her mum with the shopping as she was heavily pregnant. They went over and Grumpy said, "Hi Daisy, do you want us to help you?" "Yes please, if you don't mind," answered Daisy. "Of course we don't mind," said Grumpy. They all helped Daisy and her mum take their shopping to their car. Then Stumpy said, "Guys, it's lunchtime and I'm hungry. Please can we go and eat now?" They all looked at each other and then at Stumpy and all together they said, "You're always hungry, Stumpy." They all laughed and then Bumpy said, "I'm hungry too, guys. Let's go and eat, please." They all went in the cafe for some lunch, then they went back to Tesco. And when they got there, it started snowing really heavily, so they went inside to help people pack their shopping. After a couple of hours, they decided to go back to Bumpy's house. When they got there, Bumpy's dad said, "Your tea will be ready soon, guys." "Oh good, because I'm hungry," said Stumpy. They all looked at each other, including Bumpy's parents, and all together they said, "You're always hungry, Stumpy." They all ate their tea and then they went into Bumpy's music room for a couple of hours. Then Bumpy's mum came up and said, "Guys, me and Bumpy's dad are off to bed now, so can you please go back into the games room?" "Okay, Mum," said Bumpy. They all went back into the games room but they were all really tired too. And they went to bed not long after Bumpy's parents. The next day when they got up, Bumpy's mum made them all a cooked breakfast. Afterwards, they took their things to Stampy's house. Once they dropped their stuff off, they went to a different shopping centre. When they got there, a couple of members of staff were chasing a shoplifter and he headed towards them. The gang knew that they had to do something, so as he approached them, Kicker put her foot out and tripped him up, making him fall flat on his face. The staff grabbed him, took him inside, and then the police arrested him and took him away. The staff gave the kids a £20 gift voucher each to spend in any shop. They spent the rest of the day helping people with their shopping. At tea time, they all went back to Stampy's house. When they got there, they had their tea and then they went upstairs into Stampy's music room. They stayed in there singing and playing music for quite a while and then they went into Stampy's games room. They stayed in there until 3 a.m. and then they went to bed. The next morning they had their breakfast and then they went to Kicker's house to drop their stuff off, ready for her Christmas sleepover. After they dropped their stuff off at Kicker's, they went into town to do some last-minute Christmas shopping as the next day was Christmas Eve. When they'd finished, they took everything back to Kicker's and spent the rest of the day there. They all played video games and had a sing-song in Kicker's music room. Then they all went to bed. End of chapter 106. I hope you like it, guys. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to like, share, comment and subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please feel free to like, share, comment and to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, peeps. Love yous. Bye.